Just turn it on.
Do you want me to sit down?
Yeah, sit down and
Okay.
start off and go.
Sit here, Uncle Trev.
What's this? I don't even know what's going on anymore. Good. G'day, Stu from Uavfutures here, and today, well, we're back with another Sunday question and answer video. I don't know what's going on with these two bozos right here, but if you're new to the channel, I do apologise. We are going to be talking about all things FPV, YouTube, Uavfutures related. But what this is the Sunday Q&A episode where we answer your guys' questions. And today, we're here obviously with GT, Grumpy Trev, myself, and Crash Test Cal is finally back in the building. So where have you been, Cal? Is he here?
He's here.
Yeah.
Where have you been? The people have been asking month after month ever since you came on. Well, it's probably only been 1 month, but I know there has been a lot of comments about get Cal back on the show. When's he coming on? So where have you been? What's your excuse?
I've been sitting in my house.
Yeah, anything else?
No.
Okay. Alright, I was expecting something a bit more exciting. Anyway, I hope you guys are ready because we're about to talk about a whole bunch of FPV stuff. A massive shout out this week. Actually, I've got to get it. Where did I put it? You haven't killed me. And a massive shout out this week to Impulse RC. Trevor's making far too many jokes, but a massive shout out to those guys because they sponsored this episode, provide us this prize. What this is the Impulse RC reverb frame. We get to give one of these away to you guys. So if you put a question in last week, well, congratulations, because somebody's going to be winning one of these bad boys. If you don't know Impulse RC, they've been around in the hobby for a long time. They did the original Alien, which Mr. Steel flies. I know BMS Thomas from BMS Web, he like won the multi-GP races with his Impulse RC Helix. And what this is their new premium frame, the Reverb. It's had a lot of work from Chad Nowak. He's put a lot of designs in here. It's got a really cool staggered top plate, bottom plate sort of thing going on. So definitely go and check this frame out. I'll put a link down below, but let's kick it off and get into some actual FPV talk and find out what our first question is. Alrighty.
Oh, that's the longest intro we've ever had.
Well, that's because you've been sitting on Cal's lap, mate.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's kick it off. This one from Kevin Berghoff. G'day, Stu, GT, and possibly CTC. So yes, you have made it. Cal is in the building. Perhaps my question is a no-brainer.
Cal's here.
Yes.
Whoa.
Perhaps my question, we're just going to count how many times Cal questions come up. Perhaps my question is a no-brainer, but I'm not sure. I'm not the only one who's thought, what does UAV stand for? Trev? What's UAV? Tell the people, Uavfutures, what does UAV stand for?
You only beat me, so I can't do it.
Okay. Cal?
Unmanned aerial vehicle.
Correct.
Futures.
Yep, that's absolutely what it stands for. If you've got some better analogies, put those down below. What are they? Not analogies, acronyms. So like, what could we have? Unicorns and what starts with V? That I want to keep appropriate. Vegetarians. We're moving on. This one's from Ivan Minor. Gents and CTC, if he's there. Cal's here. Did you notice too? Yeah.
G'day, Cal.
I'm always here.
What advice do you have to those that have a problem with drifting? Now, I think what he means is, we're going to answer this like if he means if when you put a quad up, if it starts drifting to one side or something like that, how would you fix that? If someone had their quad, it was drifting all around, what advice would you give them? Trev?
No.
You would what? Cal's going first, okay. Cal?
Well, firstly I'd look at the radio and see what kind of a quality radio it is and how good the gimbals are. Maybe the gimbals are starting to break down from all the dust and dirt that you seem to attract when you're in the field. So that could be a point of failure. Also, you can get on the Betaflight and mess around with the center point controls for your yaw and everything, and just open that up so you don't drift either way. Put 3 or 4 or 5 points of I don't know what I'm trying to say, trim into your center point adjustments, and that'll take any of that crazy stuff that's happening in the center when your sticks are centered. That'll take that out of the equation.
Trev?
Yeah, let's say me answer, I agree with Cal.
Alright, I would say recalibrate your gyro. So there's a little button in Betaflight you can press. It'll sort of bring it down, make sure it's flat. Check your center points in your sticks, like Cal said. Or you could also, if you find it drifting one way, it could be on your radio, you can adjust the trim and just tap those little buttons and it'll sort of stop it drifting. You know, push it in the opposite direction. And if it doesn't do that, well, then maybe it's a deeper problem that would take a bit more diagnosis. This one's from Russell Jones. You guys are awesome. Is he talking? Is Cal included in that bit? Do you reckon?
Of course.
Well, I thought he was just talking about me and Cal.
Oh.
Didn't you, Cal? That's how I talk.
Thank you for the opportunity. Do you guys think you'll ever join Roto Riot on Quad Camp? I would come to meet you. So I think by Roto Riot they mean Rotor Riot. But would you ever go join the guys over there at Quad Camp Cal?
Sure.
Quad
absolutely.
Camp Cal. That's got a good ring to it. Anyway, would you go join them?
Absolutely, yeah. Of course I would. I'm just waiting for my plane ticket and I'll be there.
All right, Trev, would you go join the guys at the Rotor Right Quad Camp?
Oh, definitely, as long as they pay for my plane ticket.
Okay, and I would definitely jump on that as well. So I think that would be a lot of fun. Rotor Right, if you're watching this, get the Uavfutures crew out there. We'd love to meet up with the US audience and do like a big open meet where we could help people at the Rotor Right Quad camps. That'd be pretty cool. This one's from Dalton Faddis. G'day, Stu. I was wondering what you think the single greatest achievement in FPV has been so far, and what you think the next biggest achievement will be. Happy flying, mate. Trevor, you can kick it off. What's the best achievement in the hobby? Sorry, the greatest single advancement in FPV so far?
Uavfutures.
Okay. Why? You being legit?
Yeah, well, it's got me and Cal on. It's got to be good.
Yeah, all right.
That's an advancement.
Yep. What about you, Cal? Our chairs keep bumping together. There we go.
Maybe FPV itself. Just the amazing invention of FPV, being able to get a little analog camera to, you know, throw a TV signal out there to anyone, for anyone to receive is pretty amazing. So that's what amazed me from the start, and I think it's still relevant.
Yeah. I would say for me it was beta flight. Like when I flew around with open pilot base flight, clean flight, you know, they were all, I thought they were great, and then you tried beta flight and it was like, it was heavenly, it was like another world. And the quad, that's when they first started to work like we wanted them to. You weren't fighting the machine, you were sort of becoming one with the machine. So I reckon beta flight. Hi Stu, GT and Cal, there's a question mark after your name, mate, so I'm not sure what's going on there though. Anyway, I love the channel, one of the best, but they must be meaning your channel must be one of the other best, Trevor, in that, I think. But if this full-time thing doesn't work out for you, what other special skills do you got? Can you back up a pig into a trailer like JB? My special skills, honestly, if YouTube didn't work out, I would probably go do some teaching. What about you, Trev? What would you do? Not that you want to do YouTube, but you do that sort of as for fun on the side. But yeah. What other skills do you have? What other work could you go do?
Anything that doesn't worry me.
Okay. Do you know, you have no idea how many jobs Trevor's had. You used to program computer games way back for like Atari, right? What decade was that in?
70s, I guess.
Yeah, so there you go. One of the first they mustn't have done very well then if we're sitting here in this basement. And what about you, Cal? What are some of your other your special skills? What do you have?
Not much really. I've had the same job for the last 20 years. I did do some courses in some ROV as an ROV technician, remote operated vehicles, watertight.
Oh, yep.
And almost landed a great job doing that. But no, other than that, I'd just be doing what I'm doing.
All right, maybe like crash test dummy. I didn't want to say the word dummy, but maybe you could do something in there. Some stuntman work too on the side.
Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe I could start up a genuine YouTube channel and start doing that stuff.
Alrighty, this one from Keith Anderson. A while back you guys talked about snakes and spiders as part of the dangers of FPV in Australia, but what about drop bears? Do you guys have any special techniques to avoid them, or do you just avoid walking under trees altogether? Alright, so I'm going to say this one, a lot of people don't understand, or maybe you guys do understand how dangerous like the animals are here in Australia. Everything wants to kill you. Trevor, you don't like snakes whatsoever. Well, he's going to say he doesn't mind it, but he's always banging on about him, isn't he, Cal? And I don't really like spiders. They freak me out a lot. I obviously don't like sticking my hand in places where they're going to be crawling around. But what about drop bears? What advice have you got for drop bears? Who wants to go first?
Well, that's why I crash into trees all the time to scare the shit out of these drop bears.
Yeah.
So they don't really, you know, they're all right, but if you just don't fly too close to them, so we'll walk under them when you...
Yeah, yep. Cal? Yeah.
And I'd say just make sure you're wearing steel cap boots, so you be ready to sink a swift kick into one in case one gets you by surprise.
What if that lands on your head, Cal?
Well, you need to do one of those kicks. Yeah, straight off.
I'm going to say, if you're going to be kicking a drop bear and you come to Australia, don't let the authorities find out, because you will get in trouble. The authorities will track you. You'll get like a big fine. So if you're going to kick them, don't let anybody see them. And I would say, just avoid the areas where they are, especially if it's like mating season. Just don't fly around in the parks where they are. I don't know. That'd be my biggest tip.
That's it.
How do you say this one? Imaginative file?
Yeah.
This Imagine dude. Hello all, you guys seriously kick rotor. I'm curious if Stu and Trev have specific rates that you apply to every quad, or are all rates craft dependent? I think I mucked that question up, but essentially what he's meaning is, do you fly one rate, or do you have different rates per craft?
I used to, in the early days, of clean flight, but now I just fly as they come out of the box.
Yep.
So if I can fly it, anyone can. That's why I reckon. So that's like to push across.
Too easy. Cal, well, you weren't actually asked this question. It was addressed to the people who are usually here. But if you were going to fly, when you're flying, had you changed your rates, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I always I look at the quad that I'm dealing with and decide whether it's going to be primarily a freestyler or it's going to be a track quad. If it's going to be a track quad, then I'll have lower rates on it, maybe about 500.
Yep.
And if it's going to be an acro quad, then I'll have it much higher, up to about 1,000.
And do you want to explain, sort of, rates mean like when you flick the stick fully, how fast it's going to turn in the air, essentially, how fast it's going to spin and rotate and that sort of stuff. Why would you have lower rates of 500 on the track? What's the idea behind that?
To give you more precise control while you're cornering, so you can use the full range of the sticks more as well.
Yep. And what about, why do you want such high rates when you're up into acro?
So
when you're freestyle, I should say.
Quickie little flippy rolly thingy bin.
Flippy floppies. Alrighty. And why does that help with the higher rates?
Well, it's a personal thing, right? You've got to get used to the rates that you're used to and get consistent with them all the time. So your body or your mind will get certain timing, and you'll learn how to go into a roll and how to come out of it based on that timing. So you work out what rates are going to suit you, then stick with them and practice them, and then that's just part of the way you fly if you're going to be doing freestyle or acro. So yeah, it's just a matter of getting used to the rates you got.
Is that anything like a grumpy Trev rating?
What do you mean?
The rating? Yep.
No, not really, Trevor.
Oh.
God, we're such amateurs here. I would say for me and my rates, I have all mine on about 900 degrees per second. I have my yaw a little bit lower, but for anybody, if you do want to copy my rates, in the RC rate, it's 0.78, 0.78, 0.75. So it's about 900 degrees per second on the pitch and roll, and about 800 or 820 from memory, I'm not sure, on the yaw axis. And I don't change them between I don't change them between... My gosh, I'm having a stroke here. I don't change them between crafts because that gives me a good way to sort of get the feel for each craft and how it feels in the air, and I guess give it a review and compare it to some others. Hey Stu and GT, if you could have your own signature piece of tech, motors, frame, goggles, flight controller, batteries, etc., what would it be, and what would set yours apart from what is out there now?
You go first.
All right, I would say I would have to do a frame, and I think because I've reviewed so many frames in the past, like out of, I don't know who's reviewed more frames than me, or had different types in my hands, have a sort of look at an in-depth squiz, and I would have to give it a go at making a frame, and probably something that would set it apart. I would want it to be, first and foremost, really affordable and really robust for beginners in the hobby, and easy to build as well. So that's what I would try. That would be the main points anyway. What about you, Cal? What would you design?
Probably a set of goggles that were all things to everyone, meaning that they were relatively cheap and they performed like the best goggles that are currently on the market. What
ideas would you have? That sounds like a gold mine, so what ideas do you have to have that set apart? I'm pretty sure that's what all companies do. I want to have the best goggles, let's do this.
Yeah, it seems that none of them can get it right. It just seems like a basic checklist, which many of them...
Can you focus? Does diversity work? Is the screen have resolution? Is it comfortable? Like, that's about the checklist there.
Leaving one or two items off that checklist every time, it seems. So, yeah, let's just check all the boxes and get them right for once.
So, if you're designing a pair of FPV goggles, hit Cal up. What about you, Trev?
A decent VTX. It's got everything you need in it, but digital.
Okay.
That's what I want. I want to see digital FPV.
So you want digital FPV?
Miniaturised, yeah.
Miniaturised digital FPV. Trevor's shooting for the stars there, so yeah. All right. That would be pretty cool. This one's from Tomikaz CZ. G'day, Stu and GT and the Brave Warrior CTC. And then in brackets, who's missing again? No, incorrect. He is here. Question and answer. Is there any, at least semi-usable way to charge lipos in the field with solar energy?
Why would you want to?
So you can fly more.
But why would you want to use solar?
I don't know, that's just what the question says. He's caring about the environment.
Well, it's assuming you don't have a car with you, so I've never looked into it with the solar.
Going to need a lot of panels to charge a light though.
Yep. I would say what I have seen people do is they get their like deep cell battery or whatever. They have a spare one of those. They charge off that, but they use their solar panels to charge that while they're in the field, and they just leave that going all the time.
Yeah.
So they sort of use their main battery to charge off, and their main battery to charge their LiPo batteries off, and they use the solar panels to charge that main battery. I've seen that done in the past.
It's just easier to have 20 or 30 batteries and charge
and
it
just
all.
as cheap. By the time you buy one of those big ones, it's $300.
That's true. Do you miss the riot? Did you miss the riot shield and hit crash test Cal? Is that the reason we haven't seen him for either while?
How did they find out about that?
He edited all the blood out.
The skull injuries. We couldn't post that vlog in the hospital. They got a bit upset.
Yeah, everyone's asking where am I all the time? It's because I've been recovering.
And didn't the emergency response team crack the shit because they had to walk all that way to get you, Cal?
That's right. And that was no good. They actually had to send in the medevac.
Yeah, after we just hoofed it out of there so we wouldn't get in trouble. And then down the bottom it says too, by the way, effing love GT. So there you go.
Oh, who's he?
No, we're not picking this guy. If he we're not. Sorry, Cobbett buyers, but there's no actual. Oh, there is a question there. No, I'm just going to rule him out. You can't pick him. Ivan, he hates me now forever. Ivan FPV. Yeah, sorry. Ivan FPV. Hey Stu, I love the channel and how far it's come since January of last year. Hello from the USA. My question, you know, before I read this, I'm going to check that the camera's still recording. Is that alright?
Do it.
Gents? Alrighty, camera's still recording. We are good to go. My question, and why is that important, Trevor? Why do I have to always check it like that? Tell the peoples.
Because you keep.
Okay, my question, if you could change anything about the hobby that would benefit beginners, what would it be? Thank you so much. That's from Ivan FPV. What would you do? What would you change that would really benefit beginners? What would it be?
I'm going to answer that one.
Okay, Cal?
What would I change?
Yeah, I guess so. Or improve.
Oh, I really think the beginners now have got everything they need. They've got YouTube. They've got channels like your own. I think anyone that asks me, how do I get started? I just tell them to watch your videos because that takes you from the cradle to...
What do you call that? What is after the cradle?
After the cradle?
Yeah.
To...
that doesn't say the grave. That doesn't sound so good, right?
No, yeah, grave,
that's what you were thinking.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something else to say.
From the cradle to not in the grave, but out of the cradle. There we go.
It takes you through the school of FPV and takes you from scratch to where you can get really good at what you're doing and building your own quads and everything. So I don't think there's anything we could change. I think it's all there at the moment, not just on our channel, on other channels as well, but you know, the ones that Stu's got up already are really, really good for that.
Thanks, Trevor. We should probably plug Trevor's channel too. Go watch Trevor's channel. I'll flash a card up here somewhere above Cal's head. What about you, Cal? What would you improve or change, I guess, in the hobby to benefit beginners? So just people just coming in.
I don't know if I'd change that much because everything is kind of laid out for you now. Like when we started, things were a bit more difficult. You really had to search for videos. You really had to go into forums.
Yeah, a lot of forums.
Spend a lot of hours and then try to establish contact with someone and ask them a question and wait. It was just a nightmare. But now you can go onto Uavfutures. You can go onto channels like Bardwell's. There's just a whole heap of channels. They've got everything organised in playlists, so whatever kind of a problem you're having, you'll probably find a playlist that deals with it and just dive in.
Yeah. Alright. I know like people like, what was his name? Project Blue Falcon.
Yeah, Painless 360.
Yeah, and Blue Falcon had like, you know, if you wanted problems on Betaflight, he had like a whole Betaflight setup or an omnibus board setup. So, you know, there's playlists now for everything, but back in the day you sort of had to watch information, mismash it together and think, oh, I can sort of learn some parts from here, there might not be anything on your specific product, and sort of just stumble around until you got it working.
Yeah, not only that, we've got Discord now too, so you can get help from
you just stole my answer, Trevor.
Not quick enough.
Yeah. What I would say, my one thing that I would improve, or I am improving on, like I really believe in sharing this message of FPV, and that's what Uavfutures is all about. It's about getting together with your friends and just sharing that passion of flying around and having fun and doing some drone racing. And Discord, are you getting it up on there, Trevor? Is it coming up? We've got it on the computer behind us somewhere, but Discord, what that is, I think that's something that I'm going to continue to develop because it's where pilots from all around the world can get together and just talk, and not just like, I guess, typing and texting. You can also, you're on there most nights, there's sometimes like 20, 30 people talking over voice chat, and you can have a hoot and learn so much and meet new pilots and that sort of stuff as well. So if you're not on the Discord, I'll put a link down in the description down below. Go and check that as well, because I think we've got like 4,000 members or something on there right now, so it's becoming like a pretty major FPV hub for people just to talk FPV all day.
It's going to be a real pain when they all come over at once, because I said they're coming to stay here, but...
How are we going to fit 4,000 people in this house? This one's from Daniel Zawat and Hi Stu GT and CTC. Is Cal here?
Yeah, he is too.
Can you please explain why you chose to fly the on-way commanders over the Fat Sharks? Thank you very much for the great content. Would love to meet you someday. I would love to meet all my fans as well, so we definitely need to do a big subscriber meetup, something like that in the future. As far as the on-ways go, why did I pick them over Fat Sharks? And look, people called me crazy, and they said, Stuart, you're just saying that for the review. You're never going to really fly these on-ways, and well, here I am. Just like in the review, I said these things are awesome, and they were. And I know you switched over to them as well, Trev. And I like the Commanders because, value aside, I thought they were the best value goggle on the market for sure. There were more expensive ones, but I thought they were more comfortable. I liked their DVR a bit better. I liked how easy it was to get the little thing in and out, get it working, and in the end I actually preferred the smaller field of view that was in the goggle screen versus the larger, more immersive ones for my type of flying. I know not everyone likes that, but for my type of flying I liked it, and how light they were, and when you wore them all day on your face, they weren't as bad as some of the others. You didn't feel it on your nose. Now Trev, you switched over to Commanders as well. As soon as you tried my pair on, you were like, yes, you want to get a pair as well. And why do you fly them? Is there anything you can add to my answer? Is there any differences?
Well, I think they got it right straight away.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy for a new competitor to come in and just get it right like that. Yeah,
felt good on your face. They just worked, and they're the only goggles actually give you some nearly real antennas. Instead of getting sticks with them, you got at least you got a on-way what are they called, cloverleaf antenna.
Yep.
And a patch, which was crap. But,
yeah, the patch wasn't too good. Yeah, and you didn't have to pay for a receiver module?
No, everything's in there, and it worked. The diversity works really well. I just think they got it right out of the box, and I like them too. I just like the field of view you've got in them. Yeah, I can't knock them at all.
Yep. What about you, Cal? Now this is a bit different because Cal actually flies the HD V2s, which would be, are they the most expensive FPV goggle ever made? They'd be right up there. Yeah, they have a huge field of view. I think it's 42 degrees from memory. Yeah. You need to buy a receiver module and all that sort of stuff, but you love them. You fly them all the time. That's what you used to. Why haven't you switched to the Commanders, or what makes you choose the Fat Sharks over them?
Primarily, I spent so much money on them at the start. But no, look, I was well versed with the Fat Sharks before the Amway Commander came along, so I was used to a wider field of view. And as soon as I stuck the Amways on, I just couldn't get used to it. It was too much of a transition to go back down to a small field of view. So. You know, I'm very happy with the HD V2s.
They do have a good resolution.
They've got a great resolution, great picture.
Yep.
And they're very comfortable. They're everything I want. And now I'm going to stick with them now that the Clearview module is out.
Yep.
I'll be able to take advantage with that with these goggles. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
I do think that is Clearview is one thing that wants me to sort of maybe go back to Fat Shark if we ever get our hands on a Clearview module for some testing.
So,
yeah, but the videos do look pretty crazy, pretty good to be able to put that in there. I think that's pretty cool. This one made me laugh. This one's from Todd Tube. Does Trevor have a YouTube channel?
What's his name?
Todd Tube.
Todd Tube?
Yeah.
Yes. Where's he been?
I don't know why I got so much pleasure out of that question. Stu, Trev and Cal. This one's from James Hass. What up, homies? Have you ever called into work or skipped out on a social function to go flying, and what excuse did you give them? Who wants to go first here?
I didn't even hear the question. I'm still fuming about the last one. What was the question again?
The question, I need to check the camera again.
Check the camera.
Alrighty, Trev, so have you ever skipped out on work? Or a social function so you can go flying?
Yeah.
And what excuse do you do? What do you tell your boss?
I'm not going to be here.
Okay. And what does he say?
Oh.
Okay. Trevor's not giving away much, but Trevor actually works for himself.
No, you do work for yourself, but...
What about social functions? Have you ever sort of been like, oh, I'm a bit sick, I can't make it today, and then gone out flying?
All the time.
Yep. Alright, what about you, Cal?
I'm not sure.
Cal, does your boss watch this?
I don't know.
Okay, Cal has never done that. And what about social functions? We'll pretend that it's never been work. But what about social functions? What's some of the excuses usually used?
When you're sick, you can't go to a social function.
Okay.
But,
so you've been sick.
Yeah.
Sick. All right. Sometimes, yeah, back when I was a teacher, bad luck if my school is watching this, but yeah, I think I pulled a few sickies. Sometimes I know when some real premium products came out that I was super excited about, I'd rush home, I'd get a message like your poster's turned up, and the next day I think I might have been a bit crook just 1 or 2 times and gone out for a fly, definitely. And I know one time I really was sick and I went home and then I thought, well, the doctor said I had to stay in bed. I couldn't help it. I had to get up and edit videos and work on some build stuff, and it felt great. So yeah, even when I have been sick, I've wanted to do some FPV as well. Sorry, lads. What's your best excuse? What have you told people at work? I'm going to put a poll up here. Have you ever called in sick from work? Yes, no, and I haven't, but I think about it all the time. That'll be the third option. So, or some other extreme excuses you put down below just to get your flying fix. Ghost Rider, Trev's coffee cup should have a drone stuck in the tree, in my opinion. Where's your coffee cup, Trev? Let's show him. The Grumpy Trev cup.
Oh, hang on. What's his name?
Well, that's for Ghost Rider.
Yeah, well, Ghost Rider.
So we might need to do that. We'll draw a little tree on there with you. Why is that? Who's getting stuck in the trees all the time?
Well, gee, last week, wasn't it, Kel? Someone got stuck in a tree 3 times.
Twice. The third time it fell out, mate. Doesn't count because I got it out by just arming a lot.
But
twice was stuck.
Oh, you got stuck once a day. Yeah,
okay.
That was 3 times. You broke a record.
Yeah.
Magnetic trees.
Yeah. This one's from John Hoof. I sent you a message on UAV Facebook. Well, this one's probably good up. It shows this one because look, I get like 40 emails a day, all those YouTube comments, and I check.
I get 41.
Okay. Well, I'll stop sending them to you then, Trevor. But what was I going to say? On the Facebook, that's actually, if you're trying to contact me through Facebook, that's one place that I don't check very often. So I'm much more active on my email and much more active on my YouTube than actual Facebook. So, you know, there's a lesson. Don't send me a message through Facebook because I rarely check that page. It's something I want to do in the future, but at the moment there's other things I need to prioritize first. This one's from Groko Gramer. What's your advice for absolute beginners? Someone's coming along and they've said, Trevor, I'm thinking about trying this drone racing thing. What's the one bit of advice you give them?
Now, this is not a pun or any bull. I would tell them to go to YouTube and look up Uavfutures. Honestly.
Oh, okay.
How easy would that be to do? I mean, everything you need to know is there. I mean, it's not a sucked up job or anything. So up yours, anyone's thinking that. But that's what I tell them to do. I mean, everything you need to know is there.
All right.
And if not there, there's others there, like plenty of channels to look at, but one of the best.
What about you, Cal? Someone, so your, I don't know, a niece or a nephew, if you've got some of those, comes along and says, hey, Cal, I'm going to get into FPV drone racing. You look pretty cool doing this, Uncle Cal. What advice would you give him?
I would send them straight to the simulator.
Okay.
See if they enjoy it, see if they've got a flair for it, and if so, then I'd probably advise them to, you know, don't be too cheap when you're buying your stuff, especially if you're committed to the hobby and you know that you're going to be in it for some time.
What part would you upgrade? What's the one single thing you'd say, get this if you're going to get it?
Get some good goggles, get a good radio.
Yeah.
And they're the most important things to start off with. So don't be too cheap with that stuff because, you know, any kind of racing sport is very expensive and this is one of the cheapest of them all. So if you look at it from that perspective, just be prepared to just initial outlay and that'll help you throughout the rest of the hobby. It'll save you a lot of dollars too.
Let's hope Mum and Dad have a good job then. Maybe their uncle will sponsor
them.
Well,
look, if it means you have to save for an extra 3 or 4 months, then do it.
You think that's worth it?
Yes, I do.
All right. I would say for an absolute beginner getting into the hobby, you know, see if you can meet up with some other local flying groups. Meet up with them because you would be amazed how much you learn when you're just around those people. Even if you're not flying, you know, go down. I'm sure they'll let you, you know, have a look at their models. They might even let you have a go and all that sort of stuff. And it's just so much better with some other people. And you've got people there when you get stuck and you're building your own. You can go around to their place and get some help when it comes to building them because this community is amazing. Like the amount of help and support that, I'm not just talking about what we do here, the amount of support out there that this community gives to each other to get people flying is like no other place I've ever seen. It's a really, really nice community to be part of. So my advice would be go out and meet those local pilots. It's a trap. That's their question. I like your little Star Wars thing too. He says, hi Stu and GT and CTC with a question mark. I'm flying with a couple of friends, but there's a kind of big gap in skill difference which prevents us from doing races so often. Do you have any soft handicaps you give to level out the field? Thanks for the show. So, I don't know, who wants to answer this?
Welcome to our world.
What do we, I guess, do you want me to go? Oh, you want to go?
See, he wants to go first
okay.
again. He's always in
I
front
want
of...
to see what he says.
Yeah, all right, you go first.
All right, okay, so I would say, look, I would love some races, and there's not, I don't care, it's not about winning, losing, anything like that, but like it's when your heart is pumping and you know, what I try to do, I try to lap Trev and Cal and see, you know, how fast I can blitz past them and that sort of stuff. I play my own little games where these, I guess, old ladies are doing their Sunday drives around the track, but if we did want to have if we did want to have a race, I've got to keep an eye on Trevor before he punches me. But what I would say to do, let them, okay, do your tracks, find out how long it takes to do like 3 laps or something like that, and then you want to time it and work your way backwards. So, all right, I was a minute faster than Trevor. Well, Trevor takes off a minute before me. I was 40 seconds faster than Cal. Well, Cal takes off 40 seconds faster than me. Then once you do that timer, it should come down to the wire of who's going to cross that line first. And I guess that'll be a really fun way to have that race. Because we've done that in the past where you take off and then, you know, we do a countdown, 3, you take off, 2, Trevor goes, and I've got to wait till someone says 0 before I can take off. And I know that's been a lot of fun, and it sort of pushes your flying as well, so it's nice and close. All right, what do you got to say, Trev?
If he talked while he was flying, he wouldn't be able to control it because he'd be like this.
Alright, Cal, what about you? What would you say to It's a Trap if he wants to have some races with his friends? What's some handicap ideas?
Try not to make it as long as his answer with.
Yeah,
alright.
If you've got anything extra to add.
Yeah, just work out who the fast guy is, who the poser is, then just put him on 3S. That's a quick, easy way to do it.
Yep. Alright, that 3S battery at you comes down pretty toasty.
Poser.
Well, they're getting his way a lot.
This one is from Nimrod Pans, and it just says in capitals with 4 exclamation marks, maybe 5, I want Cal. There you go. So you got some fans?
Shit, you got another account, Cal. How many accounts have you got?
This one's from Jay Renwick. How do you guys dispose of bad lipos? Knife, hatchet, hammer, nail, thanks. Well, the way I dispose of them, we have like a battery disposal place. We take them down there, you can hand them in. Or, in the past, what I've done is, if I've got a 4S that's broken, I hand them away to some people who are quite happy and they know the risks, and they want to turn them into 3S's that they can use on some other projects. And if they want to do that, that's fine. But I always recommend, if you're not feeling safe or confident about doing that, well, just take them into a battery disposal place. Trev?
Yeah, they can't explode in your face. That's not very nice.
Yeah.
Singe your hair, look.
Cal?
The only thing I'll add is that you want to cut off your wires and your connectors before you dispose of your battery. Keep that stuff. You know?
Yeah, especially those little 4S balance leads. I found I've cut up a lot of them, and then you can reuse those. So, you know, if you ever heat yours up when you're in flight or something. Read, I was going to say this one's read more, but that's actually just the question to go down, read more. Anyway, FPV escape. Do you ever go out and fly line of sight to keep up that skill? I started flying quads line of sight, but have since moved to FPV, and I rarely fly without goggles on. I've recently started beginning and ending my days on line of sight. And this is interesting because just recently, I've kind of started to enjoy some line of sight right. You know, when I crashed the other day and I said, all right, let's do some little FPV flips and those sorts of things, doing some line. I'll put that in at the end of this video if I remember. But yeah,
it's boring.
I've been enjoying my line of sight just for maybe a little bit to burn off maybe the 10th of a pack if there's just a little bit, or I'm walking back from where I've crashed. Trev, do you ever do line of sight?
No, that's why I've got goggles. That's why it's called FPV.
Cal?
I used to when I first started with quads, but you know, I don't do it anymore. But if I was as good as a quad mover or someone like that, yeah.
Yeah, they do have some skills. That's a lot of practice though.
Absolutely.
I know, shout out to RC Addict too. He's got some insane line of sight skills. I've seen some of the stuff he does. Jay Barron, you guys really need a cardboard cutout of CTC so he can be there in spirit.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cutout.
Okay. This one's for Trev from Nathan Lush. Does Trev use face soap or shampoo on your head? Which one do you use, Trevor? When you wash it yourself?
Car wax.
What's... Yeah, cut and polish, actually. Yeah. What's soap?
Okay, we're moving on. John Schofield. I think Cal is Batman. These questions are getting ridiculous. I think Cal is Batman because he's always missing. Say, off fighting crime. That's what's going on, isn't it, Bruce Wayne?
I am Batman.
Maybe that can be your nickname. Nickname. Bruce Wayne. If you've got a meme of Cal being Batman, please post that in the Discord under the meme section. We'd love to see Cal being Batman. Thank you. And speaking of memes, massive shout out to I'm going to flash a picture on the screen. This was one of the favourite ones I've seen. Look, I see a lot of memes about Uavfutures. It might not be in shot right now, but who was that guy that made that? I can't remember, but if that was you, look, I'm gonna put it in the description down below. But a massive shout out because that was so funny. That Three Stooges meme that really made all of us laugh.
Was cool.
So
really
that was fantastic. And then it's a final one, and I kept this one for the people till last. This one's for you, Trevor. I should say. This is in capitals, and this one's from RS Merlin RS. Can we see an old picture of Trev with a full head of hair?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I'm going to flash a picture on the screen as well because you're not going to see. We've got it up in the background right here, but I'll flash a big picture on the screen. That's Trev with a full head of hair at TJ's Disco. What do you got in your hand? A tambourine.
Tambourine.
Letting it rock. So there we go. That's Trevor with a full head of hair.
So he's got a tiny whip gate.
Yeah, that's it. The big clown wigs on there.
It's a whip. See, I was into it a long time ago.
I didn't picture you to have curly hair, Trevor. But,
yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
What happened to it?
What happened to it?
Devon.
Yeah, Devon.
Devon.
What a mop.
Alright. Alrighty, so there it is. That was this week's Q&A episode. A massive shout out to this week's sponsor, Impulse RC, for providing us with a reverb frame. Go and check that out in the link down below because I know it's been designed by some of the best out there. Chad Nowak, a very, very cool frame. But who are we going to be giving it away to? Who's going to win?
What?
Oh, we've got to get the wheel.
We've got to spin. Here it is. Look. Hang on.
Oh, you got it on the wall.
Yeah,
Does it come down or are you spinning it up there?
We can spin it up there, or we can... No, it'll grab it.
Alright.
You ready?
Yep.
Blue tack. Blue tack.
And this is a special reverb too, isn't it?
Well, oh yeah, I should say too, yeah, this is a special reverb. They don't all come like this. Mine's been personalised. I know there are only a few made. I've had this one for a little while, and I guess a couple of months, and I'm actually a little bit scared to fly it. Not because the frame and the carbon is like ridiculously good quality, but I've never had a personalised frame before, and I kind of just don't want to scuff it up or wreck it or anything like that. This is really like, I have a lot of drones, but this is a real sort of prized possession of mine.
You've been hitting too many trees lately.
Yeah, well, I don't, like, I think this thing would just bounce off trees. It would take it. It's a very stiff frame.
What good is a drone if you can't fly it?
Well, it just means a lot to me. It's nice to have something a little bit sentimental.
It's only got your name on it.
Oh, get out. Anyway, let's find out who's going to win a reverb frame today. Who's going to pick the winner?
Cal spin.
Alright, so if it lands up the top here, that's for Cal. I'm down in this bottom part, and Trevor's over here with the black cords hanging out with all your mates. Alright, give it a spin. He went the opposite direction to what I thought. Oh, who is it?
It's me!
No, it's not. Is it?
It is.
Oh, just.
Yeah. Just is all you have to be.
Alright, we're going to find out. Trevor?
Yeah.
Who would you like to give this, not this, who would you like to be the winner of the reverb frame? And I'm just boycotting. It cannot be that person, whoever we said, it can't be that person in this video.
Okay, the guy that wanted to see the picture.
Okay, what?
Wanted to see the picture with the hair.
Alright, so this is... But that's not a question. It's got to be a question, mate.
What was the question?
Oh, it is a question.
Yeah.
Hey, he's the winner. Yes. Otherwise, I only wanted to make sure because I didn't want to. I had to make sure it was a question because that's the rules. It's got to be a question. Yeah.
What's a question?
And this one says, "Can we see an old picture of Trev with a full head of hair?" So RS Merlin RS. Congratulations, because we're going to be contacting you. Check your inbox, spam box, something like that. I'm going to be in contact because you've won one of these Impulse RC reverbs. Really cool frame. Go and check that link out down below for everybody else to see what he got. Subscribe for more FPV related content. Drop your comments down below to go in the draw for next week and our next episode when we're doing it. And as always, bye!
See you guys.
Cool. Happy flying. Alrighty, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel and check out these videos. And I'm also going to leave a little link here to my Patreon page because I've got some fantastic Patreon supporters and I like to give back to them as well. So if you want to join the Uavfutures family, there's things like bonus Velcro straps, little bundles of FPV goodies and things like that that also get sent out. Anyway, happy flying.